Did losing your husband change you as a person? How's Colette doing after losing a father? Why don't you wear your wedding ring anymore? Do you think you're ever going to get married again? Do you still want more kids? How are you coping with becoming a single mom overnight? Do you plan on finding someone to be Coco and Delilah's stepdad? Welcome back, Camille. It has been a long while since I've just sat down and answered some questions from you guys. So I thought, what better time than now to do that? So here I am. I just finished my room, which you can kind of see in the background. Official full furnished house tour is coming very soon. It is almost fully decorated, so keep an eye out for that. But until then, let's get into the questions. When do I think Delilah will walk? Is she close to walking? She is always on the move. She has her little walker and she walks all over the house in that, no problem. She can pull herself up on furniture now and is kind of walking, like holding on to stuff a little bit. So she's definitely very close. She's not even 8 months old yet, so that's so crazy. I think she's gonna be walking very, very soon. Definitely within a few months. Favorite sibling? I'm not gonna be answering that one. I don't have a favorite. What type of music are you currently into? Well, that's kind of a loaded question. Let me see what I have going on here. There's a lot. Honestly, in several ways, I feel like I've just been reverting back to my middle school self. Maybe it's a defense mechanism against feeling so out of control lately and just going through everything I'm going through. It's just kind of comforting to listen to songs that I used to love and haven't listened to in so long. Freshman year, I was really obsessed with this band Neutral Milk Hotel, and then I kind of stopped listening to them, but I'm rediscovering their music again, so that's what I've been loving lately. I love Miley Cyrus's new album. Billy Joel. Always have loved Billy Joel. Mother Mother, Penelope Scott, Phoebe Bridgers, Still Woozy, Mac DeMarco, and then a lot of just random R&B songs. Taylor Swift. I love Taylor Swift. She's kind of like my guilty pleasure. Chet Faker, Arctic Monkeys, the old stuff. Frankie Cosmos. I've been so obsessed with her lately. Kim Dawson, Kevin Abstract, Fleetwood Mac, The Beatles, Paul Simon. Love Paul Simon. I've always been a huge music person, and I've just been putting more of an effort to finding songs that I like. Would I get another tattoo? Yes, for sure. If you're wondering, I currently have one right there. It's a Roman numeral number 2 because I'm the second born in my family, and my sister has a 1, and the rest of my siblings, when they turn 18, are going to follow, hopefully. That's the plan. We might have to pin them down. No, just kidding. Corbin definitely is going to. I don't know about London and Avon, but I definitely want more. I want so much more. I've been having a hard time finding an artist near me that I like, but I have 4 different ideas right now that I'm definitely gonna get. If I could get it today, I would. Do I feel like my age or do I feel older? I am turning 20 soon, and it's really weird. As you guys know, I had my first kid when I was 16, and so automatically I went from feeling like a 16-year-old to feeling like someone in their 20s. And then my life just started moving really fast, and I moved out and I got married and I had another baby, and all those things just really made me feel like I'm so much older than I am. So much so that I kind of lost, just acting like my age, acting like a 19-year-old. Especially being pregnant, I feel like I really lost myself in that time. It was really hard to feel like my age when I was carrying a human inside of me. I don't know, I think I just felt like I couldn't act like a kid because I was expected to act like a mom all the time, and that's so not true. I'm still a kid, I'm still 19, and I don't need to act like I'm this old, mature mother of 2 just to prove myself in my parenting. Having hobbies outside of my kids doesn't make me a bad mom. I'm still the same mother I always was, but I'm also finding myself outside of that and being my own person. So I think that is really what's making me start to feel like my own age again. In some ways, I still feel older than I am, and I think I always will. Having kids at a young age will do that to you, but I feel more my age than I have in a really long time. I love your new style. What provoked you to have such a drastic change so fast? I've definitely changed a lot recently. That's not a question. I don't know, I've just been expressing myself a lot through my clothes and my room and my music. Just being me and not worrying about what other people think. Everything that happened made me realize how fragile life is and how short it is and how you can't take it for granted. You know, we're not here for very long and we don't even know how long we're gonna be here on this earth, so might as well do whatever you want and be who you really are and express yourself. I had another question asked me if Landon used to be controlling over what I wore and how I acted and who I was, because, you know, now that he's gone, I'm finally starting to dress how I want and be myself, you know? And it definitely has nothing to do with that. He always encouraged me to dress how I want to dress and do what I want to do. But I think I just got so comfortable in that relationship and the role of being a mom as well, and I just kind of stopped working on myself and stopped changing and growing as I'm supposed to at this age. I was like, I have my husband and I have my kids and I don't need to like find out who I am. I already know. I have them. And that kind of became my whole identity. And when that was suddenly torn away from me, I felt like almost like nothing. Like I don't have any self-identity anymore. Just completely lost without him. But feeling like me feels a whole lot better than feeling like nothing. So I just kind of had to find myself again. And I kind of thought to myself, like, when's the last time I remember feeling like me? When's the last time I remember feeling genuinely happy in my own self-identity, not relying on validation from anyone else? And it's been a really long time since I felt that way. It's not like he was holding me back from that, but we were both almost holding ourselves back from that. When you get married young, something you hear a lot is, you know, what if you guys grow apart? And I think we were both really afraid of that, so we were both like, well, we're just not gonna grow then. And so we stayed that same person we were when we first met and never grew outside of that, and growth is necessary. But yeah, to answer that question, I've just really made it a point to find myself again. And I wouldn't say I'm fully done doing that, and I don't think I ever will be, and that's kind of the whole point. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? This is a tricky one because for the first time in a while, I don't know. Like, I used to have such a clear vision for the future. It just goes to show that you never know what life is going to throw at you, so I've kind of stopped planning. 6 months ago, I saw a completely different vision for myself 5 years down the line. I thought I was going to be with Landon in our forever home with our girls, maybe another kid by then, 2 big dogs, and now I have no idea. I know that I'm going to be here for a year because we have a year-long lease at this house, and I don't know anything past that at all. And it feels kind of good to not have any plan, because if you don't have any plans, you can't really be disappointed. This experience has really taught me to just go with the flow, because you never know what's going to happen. And it's kind of exciting knowing that I don't know where I'm going to be in 5 years. That leaves so much possibility. I could be doing anything in 5 years. Who knows? Where do you think your forever home will be, and when will that happen? I think it'll be a really long time before I commit to buying a house. Before everything happened, I planned on buying a house really soon. We planned on buying a house in Austin. But as of right now, I have absolutely no idea where I want to live. Wherever I am, I'm going to try and stay by family, because I think that was a very bad move, was me and Landon moving away from everyone. Living in Austin, having no friends, no family, it sucked. It sucked really bad, and I do not want to put me and the girls in that position again. But yeah, as soon as I know where I want to live permanently, I'm gonna buy a house. But until then, we're gonna be wherever family is. Any New Year's resolutions for 2021? Well, let me go get my journal. A lot of my actual, tangible goals are kind of centered around some projects I have working on, and they're kind of secret. So for the sake of keeping those a surprise, I can't really share too much. But mainly just healing. That's what this year is all about for me, is self-discovery and healing from my trauma, and just really focusing on my mental health. Things just kind of suck right now, and that's just how they are. But I hope by next year I can look back on this time and feel like I've grown and I've healed. I don't know if there's ever gonna be a day where I feel like I've completely healed from what's happened. And that process is not going to be linear. But I'm excited to see what the future holds for me. Which leads me to the next question. What are you most excited for 2021? For several reasons, this year is gonna be kind of hard, and there's several things that I'm not looking forward to. Just because it's the first year without him here. But I made it through the first Christmas without him, and it was really hard, but I did. The next really hard one is going to be his birthday, and then the anniversary of his death, which I can't even believe it's been as long as it has been. And August is not really that far. They say that the first year after you lose someone just goes by so fast. And everyone told me that at first, and it felt like it was going by so slow. But it's about to be 5 months since he passed, and where did all that time go, you know? Delilah's huge now. So yeah, that'll definitely be a really hard day. That wasn't even the question. The question was, what are you excited about for 2021? Sorry to get all dark about all the stuff I'm not looking forward to. What I am looking forward to is Delilah's turning 1, Colette's turning 3. Those are going to be some really exciting birthdays. The fact that I'm going to have a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old, like what the heck? My birthday is coming up. That's going to be really exciting. I'm not going to be a teen mom anymore this year. To say that I've made it through the teen years as a mother, that's a pretty big accomplishment, I think. I'm launching my podcast this year. I think that's going to be awesome. And while I am dreading time going by so fast and things changing, and the fact that in August it'll be a year since he passed, while that's a hard pill to swallow, time heals, and I'm just looking forward to time going by and doing what it does and healing. I remember when everything first happened and people would talk to me. They'd say, you know, like, oh, the first year is always the hardest, or like it's gonna be really, really hard at first, but as time goes on, you'll feel better. And I just remember thinking at the time, why can't I just be there already? I don't want to go through the hard part. I don't want to have to heal. I don't want to have to deal with all this. It's going to be so long till I feel okay. Obviously, I'm young and I have my whole life ahead of me, and I'm not going to feel the way I feel right now forever. But I just wanted so badly to skip to the part where I'm happy, to skip past all the hurt and to just be there, where I could say it was several years ago that it happened. And it was really hard, but I am doing a lot better now, where I'm at that point where it's not consuming me. But already, as time has gone on, it's just been a little less painful every day. So much that you probably couldn't even measure it. But when it's just a little bit every day, and then you look back and it's, oh my gosh, it's been 5 months. And I look back on where I was 5 months ago, where I couldn't even believe what was happening, and just functioning as a human just became miserable. And I didn't want to leave my bed. And it was just so bad at first. I don't know if I've just gotten used to feeling horrible. This is so depressing. I don't know if I've just gotten used to feeling the way I feel and just having this pit in my stomach and this weight on my shoulders, or if the load has started to lift a little bit. With all the healing that's happened already, I'm just really looking forward to seeing where I am by the end of the year, because I'm already so proud of how far I've come. Where is somewhere that you would love to show the girls? I really want to take them to Australia. Landon has always wanted to go to Australia. It's been at the top of his bucket list. And shortly after he passed, I knew that I wanted to spread his ashes there. And I think it'll be a really important thing for me and the girls to go do. I might wait until they're quite a bit older and they understand what's happening, because I feel like it'll give them a lot of peace. And I definitely want them to be a part of that. Did losing your husband change you as a person? As much as I hate the word widow, it's always going to be a part of who I am. I don't know what it is, but it just feels like such a heavy label to hold as a 19-year-old. But it's true, I am a widow, and of course it's changed me as a person. And while it's really, really hard, at the same time, I feel like a lot of the change that's happened in me has been good change. Hard things change people for the better, or worse. And just the things it's made me realize about myself and existence and the world as a whole. It's forced me to learn some really hard lessons at a really young age, and I feel really blessed to have that knowledge and have gone through that already and learned what I needed from it, and just forced me to realize things that I was kind of refusing. Why don't you wear your wedding ring anymore? At first, having my ring on my finger was comforting. It was a way that I could still feel connected to him. But as time started to go on and my life started to change and I moved and things just kind of carried on and he wasn't here, it just kind of became heavy on my hand, and just like this weight, this heavy weight, and just a constant reminder of everything that happened. And everyone deals with grief in a different way, and I feel like when it comes to losing a spouse, everyone is so different. And I know a lot of people choose to wear their rings for years after their loved one passes away, and they kind of live under that label of widow. And that's totally valid for anyone who feels that way, who wants to wear their ring, who still considers themselves married to that person. And I guess that's kind of what it boils down to for me. To do that would to be living in a false reality where we're still married and he's not gone. I consider myself a realist, and the fact of the matter is he's gone and he's not coming back. And that's so hard for me to accept, and that's so hard for me to even say out loud. But I know it's true. I know that that is the fact. There is absolutely no way that he's ever going to be the Landon he once was and be alive on this earth with us. That's not realistic. And so as long as I had my ring on, I felt like that was me living in a false reality. And once I accepted the fact that he was gone, it felt necessary for me to take my ring off, because it was just such a reminder of that harsh reality. And that's what sucks about sharing your life with social media, is that that's something that you can physically see, is that I don't have my ring on my finger. And so I get this comment a lot, and it almost feels like I should be made to feel guilty for not wearing it anymore, or that because I don't wear it, it means I don't love him, or I never did, or anything like that. When really it's hard. It's hard for me to wear, so I don't. And that's all I'm gonna say on that, and hopefully I stop getting that comment. How are you coping with becoming a single mom overnight? That's another label that I kind of dislike. It's crazy because I never imagined I would be a single mom. You know, me and Landon were that couple that everyone was like, they're never gonna break up. We'd been together since we were 14, and then we had our kids together, and it was just one of those things where I was secure in the fact that I would never be a single mom. I had Landon. And even if we were to break up, I knew that he would always play a very crucial role in the kids' lives. He would always be their dad, and he'd always be a great dad. So at first it was very unfathomable and just kind of had a harsh ring to it, you know, single mom. But I think over time it started to become something I'm proud of, because it is not easy at all. It's really hard. But it's kind of like how I'm a teen mom. That was really hard, but I did it, and I'm almost out of my teens, and I'm proud of the fact that I'm a teen mom. Not to say that it's a good thing or that I encourage it, but I'm proud of the sacrifices I had to make and how far I've come raising kids as a teenager. And it just goes to prove that I'm capable of doing difficult things. And so being a single mom, it's very surreal, but it's made me realize how capable I am as a parent. It's similar to the feeling I got after giving birth, where it's like, if I could do that, I can do anything. Like, I feel invincible. And now with everything I've gone through and having to raise kids on my own, especially at this age, it's really, really hard. But if I can make it through this, that's pretty badass of me, you know? It just proves how strong of a person I am. So anytime I'm feeling like I'm incapable or I'm going through something hard or struggling, you know, I just sit there and think about how far I've come, everything that I've been through in my life. And if I can make it through that, I can make it through whatever minute thing seems too hard that day. So yeah, it's been very empowering. Do you still want more kids? Like, not right now, duh, but later in the future. I don't think I want any more kids. And I already kind of felt that way, like right after I had Delilah, when we first brought her home. And even more so now, I just kind of know. When you know, you know. When Colette was Delilah's age, I was like, oh my gosh, I want another one. And I just have no desire to do all that again. I don't. I have my kids that I have now and I love them and I don't feel like I need to add to my family. I'm young and I have my whole life ahead of me, and that's not to say I wouldn't be okay with having stepchildren in the future. Who knows where life is going to take me, but I could tie my tubes today and feel okay with that, knowing that I'm not going to have any more kids. Do you think you're ever going to get married again? Like I've said, I have no idea what my future holds. I'm 19 years old. I still have a lot of living left to do. But I will say that my standards for marriage are a lot higher. Being that I've been married before. I don't know, being married to Landon has definitely affected the way I see marriage, and it's very different from how I used to see it before we got married. How's Colette doing after losing a father? A lot better. When everything first happened, it was really, really hard on her. Like, you can see a difference in her. You knew she was dealing with things. I don't even think she could comprehend what she was dealing with, but it still affected her. She's been doing a lot better since then, though. It's starting to be less of this question and more something that she's just kind of come to accept. And every night we say a prayer and we ask God to take care of him and we send a kiss into the sky. And I think she's accepted the fact that he's not coming back. I think if he walked in the room, she would sprint to him, and she loves him so much and she's not forgotten about him at all. But I don't think she's like waiting around for him to show up. I think she knows that he's not coming. And now a large part of my job is just keeping his memory alive and making sure they know about their dad and the person he was and how much he loved them. I may or may not have put this question in here just because it pissed me off. Do you plan on finding someone to be Coco and Delilah's stepdad? Which, first of all, just like, that's kind of rude to ask with everything that's happened. And I feel like that question just kind of assumes that I'm not enough for them. Like, they need a dad and able to be fulfilled. Like, I need to go out and find someone to be a father figure for them. And they don't need that. Like, yes, having their father grow up with them and be a part of their lives would have been ideal. But I am perfectly capable of raising them on my own. And if I'm never with anyone again and it's just me and they don't have any kind of father figure, they'll be perfectly fine. They don't need a stepdad. They need people in their lives that love them, and they have a lot of that. How has Landon's passing changed your relationship with the girls? I think it's made us closer for sure. Colette was always a daddy's girl, so he was definitely getting a lot of her love and affection. And now that he's not here, I'm now her one and only main person. And while her attention used to be divided between mom and dad, I'm getting all of it now, which can be kind of exhausting. But it's definitely made us closer, and I feel like we've bonded a lot more. Those are my little girls. After losing Landon, at first it was really hard to even, how do I even word this? It was hard to love them. And obviously I did, like, there's not a doubt about that. Like, I love my kids, I always have, I always will. But it was hard to know that I love them so much, because that means one day that could be ripped away from me, like it was with Landon. And I loved Landon so much and he's gone. And so for a second there, I felt like I don't want to love anyone or anything ever again. But of course, the second I see my girls, that all goes out the window. It's impossible not to love them with my whole heart. And it was really, really hard to accept the fact that one day they might not be here either. But pushing people out just for the sake of never getting hurt is not a way to live. That pretty much wraps up today's video. I liked just sitting down and chatting with you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, Camille.